Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome to the Road to Rank 1, the series where I break down and analyze Hero League solo queue games. For today's video, I'll be playing as Illidan in Blackheart's Bay. As we take a look at the final draft for the match, let's analyze the threats on the enemy team. First up is ETC with Mosh Pit. If I get caught in a full 3-second dance, I'll most likely go down. They also have a Malfurion who poses a big threat if he takes Twilight Dream. My survivability is dependent on the use of my abilities to mitigate and dodge damage, but I can't do that if I'm silenced for 3 seconds. Finally, there's two really hard hitting abilities that I need to avoid at all cost: Ravenous Spirit from Nazeebo and Hinterland Blast from Falstad. My primary focus this game is to assassinate any of those two heroes every fight. Let's jump into the game. The first thing you have to do in Blackheart's Bay is decide whether or not you're fighting for the Vision. This is dependent on two factors. One, is your team with you? If anyone on your team seems to be going top or bottom, chances are they're not looking to fight. Second, your team composition. In our case, we have a Stitches and a ton of damage, so we decide to fight. As we march forward, a few of our members decide to start deviating from the plan. When you're playing with a Stitches at level 1, all you're looking for is a hook. You catch a target, you blow it up, and you back away. To do this, you need everyone behind the Stitches ready to burst. As you can see here, both Vala and the Zeratul decided to split up and go bottom. As a result, the Zeratul gets caught out, it's almost killed, and then we're forced to back away. All this time, the Nazeebo has been bottom farming experience while all 5 of us stayed top, which is why they have a little bit of an experience advantage. When the chest spawned, we didn't have an option but to make sure that we got every single coin from the top one. Knowing this, my job was simply to distract and zone the enemies while my team gathered the coins. With the coins split in half and everyone alive, me and Zeratul head down bottom to try to steal the 5 coins from the Nazeebo. While the gank was successful, both me and Zeratul made a few mistakes that we paid for with his death. To start off, Nazeebo created his own deathbed by placing the zombie wall where he did. We should have capitalized on that and positioned ourselves here and here to block and prevent him from moving forward. The second mistake was on my part. As you can see here, I activate my E for no reason at all. Instead, if I had saved it and gotten aggro of the tower instead of Zeratul, I could have dodged between 4 and 6 shots from the towers, which would have kept us both alive. Now with 10 coins in our possession, me, Rhaegar, and Stitches make our way to Blackheart for the first turn-in. As we get there, we manage to catch Nazeebo face-checking alone, giving us a free kill. Now I understand what the Nazeebo was doing. He knew that we had 10 coins, and it was obvious that we were headed towards the turn-in. Here's the thing though, this is solo queue. Not everyone sees and analyzes the game like you do, so not everyone is gonna be on the same page. Yes, as a team, you guys should have been at the turn-in stopping us from capping. But the problem is that you're not grouped as a team right now. We end up picking up 4 kills thanks to the lack of communication and impatience of the enemy team. At this point, my team should have backed. One of the most common mistakes in Heroes is underestimating death timers in the early game and chasing too far. The enemy team is able to catch back up to us, but fortunately, it only results in a 1-for-1 trade. A few seconds later, I head over to our siege camp since the action had died down. After just starting them, I noticed that Stitches was asking for assistance at the turn-in since Muradin and ETC were there. At this point, I had 2 options. 1. Stop doing the siege camp, head over to the turn-in and help Stitches out. Or 2. Keep doing the siege camp and hope that Stitches backs off. Our Rhaegar is top lane, Zeratul and Vala are both mid, I'm doing the siege camp, and there's 2 enemies missing from the map. You're a Stitches with no coins trying to stop an ETC from turning in 3. He's gonna back off, right? Nope, because a lot of players don't understand the concept that there are some fights not worth fighting. Not everything that moves and is red is something that you need to kill. As a result, Stitches ends up dying, but we are luckily able to pick up 2 kills and a turn-in as a result. This still doesn't mean his decision was correct, but that the team was able to salvage a shitty situation and turn it into a good one. As my team turns in, I notice the Nasibo out of position and jump on him immediately. If you're an aggressive player like me, you have these moments when you go too aggressive. This is one of those times. Knowing that this poor witch doctor had no chance of escaping at all, I chase him all the way to his death. In solo queue, doing things like this almost never go unpunished. Not only did I die, but 2 of my teammates had also followed me to their deaths trying to help me. This mistake allowed the enemy team to catch back up in experience and now had enough coins for a turn-in. The moment we rest, most of my team was on the same page thanks to communicating in chat. We all needed to rush the turn-in to stop the Malfurion from capping 7 coins. Noticing that their players were soaking experience in other lanes gave us even more motivation to check the turn-in. Just in time, we find the Malfurion completely unprotected trying to turn in 7 coins. This is exactly what happened earlier to Nazeebo. Malfurion had the right idea, but after noticing that he was alone, he should have backed off and waited for his team. You cannot execute strategies that require 5 people as anything less than that in Heroes of the Storm. That mistake resulted in 6 kills in our favor and 3 in theirs only because we overextended. The enemy team ends up getting a turn-in while 2 of our members were still dead, once again catching up to our lead. Having survived that fight, I still had 7 coins on me that I desperately wanted to turn in. 2 of my teammates find a pick on the Nazeebo that was trying to soak bottom lane by himself, which gives us free reign over the bottom chest. Now with 13 coins to my name, knowing that Nazeebo was dead, that I had 3 teammates with me, and that Muradin was top, I turn in my coins safely. There is nothing wrong with being overly cautious when turning in. With the ship raining down on the enemy team, we go for a gank on the Falstad and ETC that were pushing down bottom together. We did enough damage that we felt comfortable taking the Bruiser camp afterwards, but we had no idea where the rest of their team was. The second Nazeebo showed up, I immediately jumped on him to fight. Pause it here. Check out this beautiful Void Prison right as ETC was getting ready to cast his mosh pit. While we were locked in a 3-second dance, all their damage dealers were inside the VP, unable to hurt us. Notice what I do when the VP fades. I know that my team is trying to finish the Bruiser camp, so I try to distract the enemy team for as long as I can without dying. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough and they were able to get into the Captain circle in time, but look at what Falstad does. Desperate to get in the circle, he barrel rolls into it, which is enough motivation for me to jump onto him. Pause it again. You can see that my teammate has begun retreating and that Nazeebo is completely out of position. I immediately turn around and chase after him. With both carries dead, I feel pretty comfortable, so I hop on the Malfurion until I'm forced to back away with a sliver of health. A minute later, and with a level lead, my team heads over to the turn-in while I take our Bruiser camp. Keep in mind that we have the level 16 talent advantage over them, so we are looking for a fight. Now before any real fighting begins, you're going to notice some big cooldowns wasted. There goes Void Prison, Avatar is popped, and Mushpit is being channeled. That to me says go ham because there's nothing that can stop you. When I see the Falstad, I just go off. I pop my Metamorphosis and I stick to him like glue. Now pause it here. This is an awful position to be in. I have both of their tanks, their healer, and Falstad on me, while Stitches, Vala, and Rhaegar have all been stopped by the entangling roots. On top of that, Nazeebo has just come out of nowhere and is about to destroy them with Ravenous Spirit. I start running away from my life as my team gets completely demolished. Pause it again. Now we're in a completely different situation. I'm at full health thanks to Rhaegar's Ancestral, Vala is running for her life after barely surviving the Ravenous Spirit, our Zeratul is lingering around like Zeratul's do, and the entire enemy team is chasing after the Vala. With every major cooldown down, it was time for me to strike again. As Falstad and Nazeebo chase off into the distance, we managed to take out the Malfurion and the Muradin. By the time they come back, ETC has also died and we were able to clean up the rest of the fight, resulting in a 5-for-3 and a full turn-in. A few minutes go by and the enemy team has grouped up top for a push. They've also caught up to us in levels after getting a few picks here and there. As soon as they noticed that Vala was pushing bottom by herself, they rushed us desperate to start a fight. Now pause it here. It's important to understand that we just took the Bruiser camp and that they're providing us vision inside the brush, revealing the entire enemy team. On the other hand, they can only see the Stitches and maybe the Zeratul if they're trying really hard. This vision inherently created the strategy that both teams would follow. For the enemy team, it was simple. Everyone focused and burst down the Stitches while Vala is alone at bottom. For us, it was a bit more complex. Zeratul and Rhaegar had their eyes set on Falstad, I had my eyes on Nazeebo, and Stitches would just distract their front line by soaking damage. Now watch as that exact scenario develops. Falstad barrel rolls in and gets completely obliterated by Zeratul and Rhaegar. I jump onto the Nazeebo, which prevents him from casting Ravenous Spirit over the wall. ETC lands a good late mosh pit, but the damage was already done. We managed to take an even level 4v5 victory only because we had complete vision of the enemy team. Now with 3 enemies dead for over 30 seconds, we move on to capture the boss. Now here's another super common mistake that people make. You know that we're doing the boss. This knowledge that you have doesn't mean you have to do something about it. You are 2 tanks against what you think are 5 enemies doing the boss. You are much better off retreating, waiting for the rest of your team to revive, and then defending against the boss as a group of 5. Instead, they both come back and fully commit to a fight that they know they were going to lose. As we push with our boss, we stopped and captured the Bruiser camp for a little extra help. Now the same situation is going to present itself for the enemy team, but with different players. Right now you have both your tanks dead for another 30 seconds, a boss, and what you think are 5 healthy players pushing against you. All they had to do was poke the boss from far away and wait until their tanks had rest to have a proper fight. Instead, Nazeebo gets killed out of position and Falstad blows his Hinterland Blast shortly before also getting body blocked and killed. A few seconds later, their tanks come up, but guess what? The rest of their team is now dead again. Seriously, wait for your teammates to rest before you try to be a hero. We were able to use the boss to push the core and finish the game thanks to the man advantage they kept giving us. This series is supposed to focus on my big plays and mistakes, but I figured there's 10 people in every match and there's something we can learn from every single one of them. Thanks for watching, I hope you learned something, and don't forget to have fun.
You are not prepared!